Hey, Johnny, welcome to another great episode of your podcast. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm fantastic, man. It is a great day. So good to be with you because we're on a kind of take a little turn in our episodes. We've been talking over the last few weeks about annuities and how to. The last episode was how to create a giant retirement, and what I want to do today, and I'm super excited, is kind of move a little bit and talk in the next few episodes about life insurance. Is that okay?
I think that's good, man. It's one of the most important vehicles out there to protect families and people and also help with retirement and a bunch of different things now. So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm
Okay, I'm
excited.
glad. I'm glad that you're as excited as I am because I'm a big fan of life insurance, but I think there are a lot of people who have confusion around it. There are lots of different types and things. So why don't we start with like a real high level understanding of when we say life insurance? There are kind of like two basic kinds. Let's talk from that level, and then we'll just kind of dive in about the pros and cons of each one.
Yeah, so I started my career years ago dealing pretty much with life insurance. When I first got into the financial services industry, this is way back, man, in the late 90s, believe it or not. So
Wow.
I went from dark colored hair to gray hair over that time and still doing it. So it's been a long time. But there's a couple different kind of life insurance. A lot of people have sometimes misconceptions of it and the different kinds there are. So I've run into that many times over the years where someone's thought they had this, but they really have this. But there's actually kind of almost three kinds of life insurance, actually. Everyone might have heard of term insurance, and term is simply what you think it means. It's for a term of time. That's
Okay.
what it is. So you have insurance for a specific amount of term of time, whether it's 20 years or 10 years. And what the insurance company's saying is, we're going to make sure your premium stays the same and the death benefit is the same for whatever that term of time is.
Okay.
Easy thing. If it's $100 a month and the insurance is $100,000, during that term, you are guaranteed to only pay $100 a month for $100,000. Now, after that term, things happen.
Right.
Premiums go up, the insurance could lower. There's different scenarios, or it could just go away totally. But it's designed for a temporary protection. So maybe a mortgage or something, like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to make sure if something happens to me, my house is paid off. I have
Right.
25 years left on my mortgage, so I know I need to cover that for 25 years or
Yep.
20 years. Whatever that need is for a specific time, that's where term insurance can come in handy, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people are just told, we've heard people just buy term, just buy term. Well, term definitely has its place, and all of these are going to have their place. And I'm not telling you to do this or that because everybody's needs are different.
That's right.
But in this particular case, that's what term stands for. The oldest classic thing that when mom and dad or grandma and grandpa bought these policies for $500 for 10 cents a month way back in
Yep.
1955,
Yep.
those are whole life policies and they're still there today.
Right.
What does a whole life policy means? It means you have it your whole life pretty much,
Yeah.
right? So I buy it at age 50. The premium is $150 a month for 100,000. I will pay that premium and the insurance will never go away. It will never, premium will never go up. I will have it as long as I fulfill my end of the bargain, which is paying the
Right.
premium. I'm guaranteed to have that. Whole life insurance is the most costly insurance. Why? Because what do you do in life? You pay more for guarantees,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
when you have something guaranteed that's going to be there forever, the premiums are a little more.
Yeah.
Now, there's whole life within whole life umbrella. There's ones that you pay till you die. Then there's ones maybe you pay for 20 years, you
Mm-hmm.
quit paying, and the insurance is still going on forever. But
Yep.
when you hear the word whole life, that's what that means. It's a whole
Okay.
life policy, and there's different features and different kinds underneath all that. Okay. And same thing with term. There's return of premium term, there's basic, there's 5-year renewable term, things like that. Term is always the lowest costly one because it's temporary.
Right.
Whole life is your most costly one because once again, you're paying for guarantees.
Yep.
Okay. The
Okay.
third one kind of came out in the 80s and they're called flexible premium adjustable life. The
Okay.
name we all call it and what it's known for is called universal life insurance.
Okay.
Right? So
Whole life is your classic years ago. Term came along, low cost, cover needs. Universal life stands for what the actual name of it is. It's a flexible, premium, adjustable life insurance. You can make changes to it over time. You can't really change the term. If it's $100,000, you can't call up in 3 years. Hey, XYZ insurance company, I decided I only need 75,000. You can't do that. It's
Mhm.
whatever it is, it is. Whole life insurance, generally, you can't make any changes to it. If it's a
Mhm.
$20,000 policy and you want it to be 15, you can't just call them up and say, hey, I want to lower this to 15,000.
Right.
A universal life is flexible.
Hmm.
Okay. You can make a universal life go for 20 years. You can make it like a whole life policy. You can make adjustments to it over time. How does universal life compare cost wise? It's kind of in the middle, depending on what you want to do with it, right? You can make it
Hmm.
fairly low, similar to like term. You can also make it higher cost, similar to whole life, but generally not as much.
Mhm.
What does universal life do? Gives you the flexibility and allows you to really build a higher cash value type feature in it
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
than whole life can do. In term, obviously, doesn't have any cash value. So
Mhm.
universal life kind of is in the middle. And once again, under the universal life umbrella, there's variable, there's index, there's traditional universal life. So all of these are individual type policies. And underneath each separate umbrella, there's different types of them.
Okay.
Okay. And uh, personally, I have a term policy and I have a universal life type policy
Mhm.
because the need I wanted to fulfill is fulfilled by both of those policies.
Yeah.
Some people just need a policy for whole life or burial or whatever, or some people
Right.
just say, I want to cover this big need for term. So those are the three generic overall types of insurance, life insurance policies out there. What's the common denominator? Well, they're all a one sided deal. The company can't say in 6 years, well, we want to raise your price right now. Nope, they can't do that. Once you start the policy, whatever you started it with for that either term or whole life or whatever, as long as you pay your premium, they're on the hook,
Yeah.
right? So it's a one sided deal. It's the contract says the company has to do this. You just have to pay your premium. And you're
Right.
all right.
Well,
Universal life, you can also make changes yourself on that. And there's some interest rate factors and fluctuations within it. But in general, uh, it's a one sided deal. Also, they're all tax free on the death benefits, right?
there's a big
So,
one.
all three of them, if you pass away, the money is given to the beneficiary tax free.
Yeah.
How many times do we hear that? Not many times in
Not
the
many
world.
times.
Everything's almost taxable. So,
Yeah.
life insurance can be an awesome vehicle for tax free death benefit, as well as utilizing it properly. The cash value can also be utilized tax
Mhm.
free as well.
Right.
So think of life insurance as an overall, generally tax free vehicle at either death or some living benefits.
Or during life too, a lot of times. And that's a good that's a really good overview. And um I think it's helpful for people to understand there are different needs for each person, each family that play into should I purchase a term policy, a universal policy, or a whole life policy? And the answer is, well, it depends, right? What's your need? I think for me, as I think back on my life, we bought a term policy when I had young kids, and we looked out and we said, you know what, I've got to make sure that my wife Jill has enough money should I die to replace my income and everything, so she doesn't have to go to work. She stay at home as a mom that she did. So we bought a term policy because we were broke back then. I mean, we weren't broke, but we weren't making tons of money. But a term policy has a lower amount with a big payoff. Now, fortunately, I never used it, so it probably ran out. Well, but that's okay. I had the peace of mind knowing that should something happen, she was taken care of. That's just one example of where I felt a term policy was really good. I also own a index universal life policy because that has a different purpose. And I think as people look at retirement, Johnny, they've got to come into this discussion with you with Not Johnny. I don't like this. I don't like term. I don't like what. But to say, here's what I'm after, and then you can talk with them and discover their dreams, their aspirations, so that you can bring to the table some options. Is that good counsel?
Oh, absolutely.
Everything is different for an individual need. And you'll hear a lot of times people come in, well, it's a waste of money, or man, I paid all that money, nothing comes out of it. That's with any kind of insurance.
It is. Yeah.
Insurance
Car
is,
insurance.
you can have car insurance for 50 years in your life, pay all those premiums, you never use it once.
Yeah.
Homeowners insurance, you can have your home for 30 years, never have a problem, never use your homeowner. But what are you buying? You're buying peace of mind. And
Yeah.
what's the greatest peace of mind to have over a physical piece of property or a car, or peace of mind your family's going to be okay?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
life insurance can't be looked at like, oh, I got to pay this bill. You can't
Right.
look at it as a bill. You got to look at it as an investment in your family and your protection and all that type of thing. So it's a great vehicle to use, um, for protecting your family.
Yeah.
Not
And it
not
has.
even some of the other features that are. I'm just talking the
Well,
bare bones of life
we're
insurance.
going, yeah, and we're gonna go into another episode that talk about some of the other features and benefits of a properly structured life insurance policy that becomes part of an overall retirement plan, which is I know what you help your clients really put together, because you've got to look at everything from income to taxes to insurance to long-term care to social security. I mean, there are so many factors, and that's what I love about what you guys do at New Heights Retirement is you pull all this together for somebody and you say, here's based on your situation, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, what you've told me, here's a recommendation and here's why we're doing it this way. Let's talk about that. And
Yeah, I think that what we try to do at our team, New Heights Financials, we want to help people in all areas. So if you come to us, we're going to point out that life insurance needs to be part of your retirement and your financial plan. Probably we'll make the recommendation. You may not do it
Because once again, people are looking at it the wrong way. And
yeah,
how do they know what to charge for life insurance? It's real simple. It's based on age and health.
yeah,
The younger you are that you purchase the life insurance, the lower the premium, and the healthier you are, the lower the premium. Those can coincide with each other, right? Because usually when
yeah,
you're younger, you're not on a bunch of medications or whatever it may be.
right,
If you've taken a bunch of medications, you got diabetes, you got this and that, you're going to pay more than for the guy that don't have diabetes. And
mm-hmm,
also, women are lower cost than men because they
yeah,
live longer.
go
So
figure.
they figure this out. So if you got a 45-year-old guy and a 45-year-old lady, the lady's going to be a little less money for her premium. So
Yep,
those are some of the things that determine the premiums for that particular product that you want to get.
yeah,
And to me, life insurance, I love doing the retirement planning and help people for their, make sure they have income for the rest of their life and all that. But life insurance to me, it's unbelievable. We're doing this podcast today. I won't say names, but I just had a client that we did a life insurance policy, just a simple life insurance to cover the mortgage. It was 5 years ago. I got a letter in the mail from one of the insurance companies we went through, because we work with a bunch of different insurance companies to find the best rates and everything for everybody, that said so and so had passed away and
mm,
that they paid the claim out and this and that. It was like a CC copy to me. I didn't even know because the client didn't call me. And we were super close. I made to talk to him 3 or 4 times over the last few years, just
yeah,
this and that. And so I called up the missus and I said, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And you know what she said? She
mm,
started to cry. She goes, thank you so much. If I didn't have this insurance policy, I would not be able to stay in my house. And she
wow,
said, we almost canceled this about 2 years ago. But I remember but we decided like, hey, this could be important, never thinking they're going to use it. This
yeah,
58-year-old guy just passed away out of nowhere about a month ago. And that makes me, not that I'm anything about passing away, but the value of what we do and what I think is so awesome about life insurance is you're dealing with all the emotional stress of a loss of a loved one, but the financial part of it won't be stressful for you anymore
that's
because of
right.
the life insurance.
How
You don't want to
cool.
get nailed with all the emotional and unbelievable loss of a loved one and the pressure and stress you feel and all that, and add on top of that the financial part of it,
Right.
right? And so you
Yeah.
can alleviate that with a small premium every month, relatively speaking to what the death benefit is usually,
Right.
for that. So it was touching, and she was obviously crying and just being thankful and everything. And you never know when you're dealing with folks what's going to happen. You don't think someone's going to pass away at 58, but this person did, and that helped her. Is going to help her keep her house. So what a load off of her,
Yeah.
you
How
know.
cool. What a
And
great story.
that is so cool that I could be a small part of that.
Right.
It really is, and so it's special. So,
That's
and
awesome.
that was literally uh 2 days ago that
2 days
happened.
ago.
two
Wow.
days ago. So, and there's stories like that that I've had over the 25 years or so that I've been doing this, but it was touching, man. And so life insurance, it isn't a waste of money to her. It
That's
wasn't a
right.
bill to them. They made a decision, hey, we're going to keep this, and it is a game changer for her,
Absolutely.
going forward, because she's 50, mid 50s,
You still got a long
around
time
it,
to live, man.
so anyway,
In the helm. That's a great story, man.
That
Thank
was
you for
that was a
sharing.
touching story, man. So
Yeah.
it really coincides with what we're talking about today. So
Absolutely. Well, we're going to dive in through this mini episode or these mini series on life insurance. Probably more stories like that because it really is a powerful tool when utilized properly. So, thanks for ending this podcast with that story. That's so good, and it's just one of many that of how you've helped people create a great retirement plan. So, Johnny, thanks so much. We'll be back on your next episode talking more about life insurance and how it can benefit you.
absolutely. Thanks, Mike.